Welcome everybody, Maxwell here with another World of Tanks replay, and this one was from the user MPH, driving the RU-251 on a standard battle on the Fisherman's Bay. RU-251 is a tier 8 light tank for the Germans. You're going to have to excuse this replay, for some reason the reticule bug is happening, so we're not going to be able to see exactly how well the tank is aiming, but as you can see, it snaps into the correct zoom levels sometimes, but oftentimes it's just absolutely huge, like it is right now. So you'll have to excuse that. It's a bug for some reason in this version of World of Tanks. No idea why it happens. So MPH getting a little bit caught by surprise there by the M41 Bulldog just steaming right through the centre. And did have the reflexes though to use auto aim to get a shot on him and then take him out. And going to keep himself well hidden behind the buildings here. There are two artillery pieces for the enemy team. A 212A. And just to add insult to injury, they're both platooned together. So you can just tell that those guys are going to be coordinated. And the artillery loves to pick on light tanks for a couple of reasons, really. They are a lot more likely to get penetrating hits on light tanks thanks to their very weak armour. And the artillery is a lot more likely to get killed by light tanks because they tend to go and hunt them down. So MPH reacting very well to minimap information here, trying to get a shot on this AMX 1390 as he charges right through the centre of the map here. He's trying to pick him off whilst also keeping an eye on this Type 64 to his left. And that is why he's using auto aim at the moment, as he doesn't want to get taken by surprise by this Type 64. Going to keep an eye on him whilst also trying to take out the AMX 1390. AMX 1390's gotten far enough behind the enemy lines now that he's not really going to be able to do anything about it. It's going to be up to the Cromwell and that IS to defend the artillery. You can just imagine that AMX 1390 just thought to himself, well, screw this, I'm just going to go and try and suicide to kill the artillery. It looks like he hasn't done it just yet. Both allied artillery pieces still alive, so that was really a terrible suicide run by him. Not only did he not kill them, but his allied artillery didn't take them out either. And that just leaves MPH in the middle of the map now to try and fend off this 110. Looks like the allies, thanks to the 1390's rush though, he may have given up his life for no kills, but what he has done is he's drawn tanks out of the town, and that's going to allow the enemy team just to move in there and fill that space. And that means that the allied team's going to have a lot more difficult a time to hold the enemy back. Just gets a 0 damage critical into this 110, which is a little bit unfortunate. And this replay is a little bit slow to get started, as you can imagine, from a light tank, but it gets pretty exciting by the end of it. Just trying to ward off the 110. The reason he's concentrating so much on this 110 and on this flank is, like I said, because so many tanks got drawn away from the town, the enemy had free reign. So himself and this Tiger II are trying to put shots into the town to try and hold the enemy team back and try and sort of stop their advance, because there was nobody else in the town to do that job. Now that the allied tanks are moving into the town, MPH feels confident to move off and maybe look a little bit more towards this left-hand flank, which is now getting pretty heavily pushed. You see a T-30 come into view there. Not quite able to land a shot there, which is a little bit unfortunate. Just got to allow his gun to aim a little bit more, but to be honest, we have no idea how long he has been aiming for, as the reticule appears to be broken. I'm going to try and take shots on this T-30. Did see this turret was moving in this direction. It's better safe than sorry to fall back. Looks like he's in a really awkward position right now, but for some reason the T-30 looks back to his front, which presented MPH with a perfectly clear shot on the side of his turret, and MPH was able to strip off another 250 hit points of his. Does see a Waffenträger Panzer IV caught out in the middle of the open. He starts to make a move to try and get into cover, but it's a little bit too little too late. He does manage to take out the T-43, but that's just going to allow MPH to get some serious damage onto him. One more hit will be all it takes. He's probably going to have to give up some hit points here. Starts to make a move to try and throw off the Waffenträger. If he can move at some speed between the buildings, hopefully the Waffenträger wasn't able to shoot him, which we saw he wasn't. And he stripped away pretty much 1,000 of his hit points there. Going for the T-20 instead, as he's a slightly softer target and easier to hit. You see that T-30 is well secured behind the hill there. Only really sees turret. And you can see the strength of this position in the centre of Fisherman's Bay. If you can stay here, stay unopposed, you've got some brilliant shots on both flanks. You can see that MPH really helped hold the advance of the right-hand side. Now he's trying to help defend the left-hand side. T-43 thinks better of it, and he starts to back off, going the way of the T-20, although he is starting to make a move forwards again. Looks like he's just taking a different route, so that he can't be shot at from the centre. MPH trying to decide whether it's worth going with him, but finds the Type 59 instead. Type 59's a one-shot if you can get a decent roll. And MPH has a lot of his hit points left. It's just like the other replay that we watched the other day, where the STA-1 conserved 90% of his hit points for the majority of the battle. That's exactly what MPH has been doing very, very cleverly. He's just conserving the amount of hit points that he has so that he can trade later on in the game. Unfortunately for the Allies, one of their defenders on this left-hand side has fallen, but MPH wasn't really able to get in and do anything about it, as he had to worry about that Type 59. Keeping the T-43 spotted, so that his allies in the M53-55s are able just to rain death and destruction down on these guys. Now it's going to be a case of trying to find this T-20. There he is. He's only got 184 hit points. So beautiful shot on the move there. A little bit of luck, I think that one was, rather than skill. But you know, I'd rather be lucky than good any day of the week. T-20 just complaining in chat that the RU was using gold, and that's simply because he's run out of regular shells. That tends to happen in these tanks that don't carry very much ammunition. Playing it careful from that T-25-2. Doesn't want to go and get shot in the side by that guy while he's transitioning to the right-hand flank. This one's going to be a little bit of an uphill struggle, considering the enemy is winning 12 kills to 9. Finds the Type 59, has a shot, wasn't able to land. Now he's got 9 high explosive shells left. And you can see the shell velocity of that very, very slow. So enemy team got 6 tanks left to the 3 of the Allied team. 2 artillery apiece. And the artillery was able to defend themselves here. MPH is going to have a little bit of an uphill struggle now. Going to take on the 110 with only high explosive ammunition. Flies that one way over his top as he comes in way too fast. Now he's got to take his time. He's got the rear armour, so he can land a shot through and do some serious damage. He's going to probably have to take a hit from the 110 as he positions himself to only shoot the rear armour. Looks like he got away with that one scot-free. Now he's got to take on the Tiger P, but it looks like the 53-55 is able just to equalise that one. And MPH is going to have to play this one very, very carefully, as he only has 4 high explosive rounds left. You can see people just raging in chat there. We'll just go ahead and ignore those guys. I don't have time to read it. So there's a T-25-2 and the 2 artillery pieces left for the enemy team. The Allies did a great little fast and furious job there to equalise that one. MPH going to be heading to the left-hand flank. That's the last time the T-25-2 was spotted. As you can see, making an excellent approach here on the right-hand side of the hill, considering that the last time that the T-25-2 was spotted, he was on the left-hand side of that hill. So trying to minimise the shots that the T-25 can take. Here's the 2-1-2. That was a very risky shot by both of those guys. MPH is flying straight into his face. The 2-1-2 missed his shot, unfortunately, straight into the dirt for him. He's got to take his time with this shot, but he thinks he's got the crew to do it, and he has indeed. Takes out the 2-1-2 for kill number 5. He only has 1 shell left, and there are 2 tanks, so he's going to have to really rely and have faith on his artillery friends here. Got the 2-1-2. He has fired recently. Only does 4 points of damage, which is so unfortunate. And he is completely out of ammunition. Doesn't even have the hit points to ram either. Only 368 hit points. If he rams, he's probably going to die himself. And it looks like the T-25-2 is on full health. So really all he's going to have to do is just try and carousel around these guys, keep them spotted. Puts a rock between himself and the T-25-2. 1 shot comes in, and he is definitely the biggest threat. The artillery wants to take out the 25-2 first. He is the more immediate threat that could possibly take out MPH. He's got to play it careful though, as the T-25 comes around the corner. He gets obliterated. 2-1-2 fires. MPH sees that he fires. He's got 175 hit points left. He's going to move himself in, try and just get around behind the 2-1-2. Doesn't want to hug him too closely, because if he does, he might get exploded by the artillery. But you can see the traverse speed of this tank is absolutely terrible, and he is for it, and that is GG and the win. So awesome replay there by MPH, driving the RU-251, running out of ammunition in the end, but still showing why light tanks can be so dangerous when they've got artillery left on the field. So awesome game from you. Thank you very much for sending that one in. Don't forget, guys, if you've got yourself a great replay, then send that into replay@screenreality.com. The link for that's in the description. Just attach the replay file itself or the link to the What Replay website to the email, and I can check that one out for you. And don't forget, if you enjoyed this video, you found it useful, informative, you learned something, or you just thought it was fun, think about hitting that subscribe button, because there's a lot more World of Tanks content on this channel. I've been Maxwell, this has been a World of Tanks replay, and I'll catch you guys next time.